Good afternoon once again, dear colleagues. Please do take your seats. We are about to start the afternoon part of our program. This session will be devoted more to discussion on instruments and schemes that we can utilize for working together, for forging joint projects and partnerships. We will learn about existing activities and for future plans. And I'm particularly pleased that we have a very distinguished panel to address this issue. So let me, with any further ado, start right away with the Deputy Minister of Education, Youth and Sport, Dr. Václav Velčovský, who will speak about the programs that the Ministry of Education, who is the main ministry responsible for international collaboration in research, has been conducted and is planning, especially with regards of Israel. So, Mr. Deputy Minister, the floor is yours.
Well, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored that I may stand here in front of you and to present what the Czech Republic, represented by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports, is planning and is long-term making in a Czech-Israeli collaboration in research and development. Okay, first, allow me just to frame our collaboration on behalf of the Czech Republic and the State of Israel. I would like to mention that since 2016, we had a working agreement which defined the collaboration at state level and the priority topics such as exchange of information, mobility of scientists, mutual help regarding the research policy and so on. And I'm really glad that I may announce that yesterday we have coped the rest of the comments by other ministries, and we are ready to submit the Czech Republic's proposal to the State of Israel. So I hope that it will be accepted very soon by the state and that we may prolong our contract or agreement for the next period. Well, if I have to strengthen or just pick up some topics which we are planning, or we are performing not only in research, I would mention these, let's say, 4 very important bullets as a scholarship for courses in Hebrew, as a teacher's education regarding the Shoah, and of course the Tzemach competition regarding the pupils' support or pupils' competition in writing and description of Israel. So part of the research policy is fully in line with the other policies of the ministry, and it is mainly the education policy. Not only on the state level we have the collaboration, but let's say spontaneously, there were a lot of activities, and there are a lot of activities performed by the Czech universities. We have already 33 inter-university agreements. It means agreements between Czech universities or Czech research organizations and the organizations and research organization in Israel. Maybe you know that the universities are having the very big autonomy in the Czech Republic, so it's really up to them to identify the topics and to identify their partners. And of course, ministry supports their activities, but it's not, let's say, directly influencing what are they going to perform. So therefore, it shows that the collaboration with State of Israel and Israeli research organization is spontaneous, and it proves the interest of the Czech scientists, university teachers, and students as well. We have, in previous time, we have supported the Israeli attempt to be part of the Erasmus+, and we are glad that although Israel is not part of the so-called third countries, it means it's not associated into the program, it may be, let's say, included in some activities. And you see the activities in the previous programming period, mainly in mobilities. So we have supported more than 300 individuals with exchange between Israeli universities and the Czech Republic ones. And I'm really proud that this support, which we have stated on the European level as well, has really grown very fast and very deep. Well, I hope that the presentation will be sent to you. So the numbers you may use, and the presentation is, of course, free of the copyright, so you may use the figures as you would like to. Regarding the, let's say, national money and national support, I would like to mention the program Inter-Excellence, so the bilateral projects between Czech research organization and the Israeli ones. And as you may see, we have supported 8 and 6 projects in the past. And in the current period, we are going to support interaction projects and Inter-Eureka. It means we are not supporting only the work program and work level, so research as such, but we are trying to support as well the exchange of research policy, research politics, management of research organizations. So it means this meta level, which is very important for the Czech Republic, and let's say paradigm change of financing and supporting research on the state level, but as well on the research organizations level. We have as well very deeply supported on the European level the affiliation of Israel to Horizon. And as you may know, we were quite, let's say, successful in this regard. You may see that we have had more than 132 joint projects in, of course, different calls of the Horizon and different types of collaboration. But again, this is interest of researchers, of their own spontaneous research projects which were submitted to the Horizon. And the number, 132, I think it's very, very good. And again, it's bilateral projects. So I'm convinced, as the Minister Gazdík said, that we have a lot to learn in the research policy. Regarding the forthcoming programming period, again, Israel joined Horizon Europe as an associated country, and we are going to support the activities of research organizations in this regard as well. And regarding the topics, you may see that the most interest from the research organization in the Czech Republic is research infrastructures. Of course, as a flagship of the Czech Republic research ecosystem as a priority of the Czech presidency of the Council of the European Union. It's let's say, the principal support, so principle of, let's say, new open research paradigm. But regarding the concrete topics, the most, let's say, chosen by the universities and research organizations was food, bioeconomy, natural sciences, agriculture, environment. I think it's, again, very, very logical. And then health and security. I think, again, nothing what would surprise us, but it, let's say, shows that the spontaneous system, bottom up, is in line with the Czech policy from the different direction. We are trying to support the Czech-Israeli collaboration from the European funds as well. And we have enabled to have Israel as a so-called third country in the mobilities financed by the cohesion funds in the Czech Republic. And again, 12 of researchers, 12 Czech researchers financed by the cohesion fund are already making their research in the state of Israel and in the similar areas as I have mentioned. One concrete example, if you would have time, I know that your time is quite expensive, but if you would have, is from our point of view, the project Eurostars Insider, which takes together or puts together the small and medium enterprises with applicable activities and with applied research from three countries, from Hungary, from Czech Republic, and from Israel. And again, I think that our, although very different principles of financing research and development may give in total very innovative approaches and very promising support. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was very, very briefly. I have promised to be finished in 10 minutes, and I hope that my promise was fulfilled. So please, here is my contact. Feel free to contact me. I'm responsible both of international relations, European Union, and financing from cohesion funds, and I will be really very, very pleased to have other bilateral meeting where we could discuss the topics of education and research between our states in more detail. So thank you very much, and sorry that I have spoken too fast, but 11 minutes. Thank you.
Mr. Deputy Minister, thank you indeed for both. A very interesting presentation and be very on time. And you spoke fast, but I think clear enough. There was a question addressed to you via Slido. I think it refers to a program you mentioned during your presentation, the Inter-Excellence, and there is a question: what are the requirements or possibilities rather for Czech and Israeli universities to use this program as a means for collaboration?
Well, and now you see that the Vice Minister doesn't know. Well, it will be for the long time, so please write me an email. I will send you the more further information in English, which are on the website, or I may send you the link. But firstly, I don't know, and secondly, we have no time for the answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now it's my honor to invite Professor Zažimalová, the president of Czech Academy of Sciences, to tell us a little bit more about the programs of the Institutes of Academy of Science working together with Israel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, let me to briefly introduce activities of the Czech Academy of Sciences. First of all, I should stress that the Czech Academy of Sciences is not a learned society. We are a research performing organization of non-university type, and our mission is to perform top research in a broad range of natural, technical, and social sciences and humanities, from astronomy through physics, mathematics, informatics, geosciences, engineering sciences, to chemistry, biology, and then humanities and social sciences. So it's very broad spectrum. We have 54 research institutes that cover this broad spectrum of disciplines. We are also involved in education. It is based on agreements with universities, and our researchers serve as supervisors especially for doctoral study programs and also for teaching at universities. And our last part of our mission is also knowledge and technology transfer into application sphere. So we have a lot of various agreements with business, with companies, and actually quite pregnant example of this is our Institute of Organic Chemistry and Biochemistry. They developed antivirotics, especially against hepatitis B and AIDS, and their income in some years was bigger than the income of Prague airport, just for comparison. Our natural partner in Israel is Israel Academy of Sciences and Humanities. This is a learned society, but our colleagues there are actually serve as national focal point for scholarship in Israel in all branches of sciences, including social sciences and humanities, and they also maintain active contact with international scientific and scholarly community. And this is actually the basis for our collaboration. 5 years ago, we signed a memorandum of understanding with Israeli Academy of Sciences and Humanities, and we organized in 2019 first joint workshop that was focused on plant genomics. and it was in Jerusalem. And we planned to organize such meetings once in 2 years, but unfortunately it was interrupted by COVID pandemic. So just now, actually today and tomorrow, there is another second joint workshop what we organize, and it is on law between state and history, and it is held not far from here in Prague as well. So our Israeli colleagues are just now here as well. And there are participants from Tel Aviv University, Open University of Israel, Hebrew University, and Haifa University. In 2016, we got an extra funding from the Czech government office for cooperation with Israel, and this was dedicated above all to short-term cooperation activities, like short-term visits of researchers from both Israel and Czech Academy of Sciences institutes, and also short-term visits of PhD students or postdocs, and some joint workshops, seminars, conferences, etc. It was very successful activity. Here you can see the very brief overview of activities, and approximately 70% of our institutes were involved in these activities, and there were more than 100 cooperation activities realized within 2 years from 2016 to 2018. From Israel, there were 22 different research institutions involved, including Tel Aviv University, Hebrew University of Jerusalem, Weizmann Institute of Sciences, Technion, Bar Ilan University, Ben Gurion University, etc. And actually the most productive were the long-term stays at Weizmann Institute of Sciences. This was part of the extra funding from the Czech government allocated to this. And there were 2 young people that were able to compete for the scholarship. They were both working in biomedicine area, one on epithelial stem cells, the other one on Parkinson's disease. And they were quite happy there, and I think that people at Weizmann Institute were satisfied as well. These were not only those 2 people, but another long-term cooperation started in that time, mainly with our Institute of Biotechnology, that is again focused mainly on biomedicine, and there are 3 groups of people at Weizmann Institute that were involved in this, and those were people from Center for Structural Proteomics, for protein-protein interactions, and Department of Structural Biology. All these 3 topics are very promising topics for future, so we think that this long-term cooperation will continue. Then there are, of course, other collaborations, and not only with Weizmann Institute. Our Institute of Nuclear Physics collaborates with the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and they jointly published some papers, and they organized some other programs and other ways of cooperation, and again they seem to be satisfied with this. We also organize exchange of researchers, mostly with Weizmann Institute, but not only with Weizmann Institute. Here you can see again few examples. It is mostly focused on young people, on postdocs, but also, let's say, normal quote-unquote scientists can take part of this as well. For future, we can imagine that we can focus on standard programs like anchoring and expanding already existing cooperation. Then we would like to develop medium and long-term programs. We are ready to support the mobility with the help of Ministry of Education, Youth and Sports. You actually heard just a few minutes ago about possibilities. And then we, of course, are ready to organize conferences, workshops, seminars, and last but not least, support knowledge and technology and their transfer, which is very crucial, especially in last few years. And at the very end of my short speech, there is one example, not from natural sciences, but from humanities and social sciences. Our Masaryk Institute and Archives of the Academy, they prepared a web application, they call it MemoGIS. And this application uses the map of Prague to illustrate the exclusion of Jews from society in occupied Prague during during Second World War. So it's very successful application, many visitors there, and actually it shows that there are more than 30,000 Holocaust victims in the map of Prague. So this is very special activity. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Madam President of the Academy of Sciences. Thank you very much, especially for detailing the broad scope of the Czech-Israeli collaboration and reminding us that other activities going on just as we speak in Prague. The Czech and Israeli partners work together. I think it's just another piece of evidence that we have seen throughout the day how broad and how much the collaboration is and how much potential is there. So thank you very much. And I really appreciated your joining us today because I understand you are on your way on a very important meeting. So we appreciate your coming and joining us. The next speaker at this session is the chairman of the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic, Professor Konvalinka. And I understand, I believe he will speak specifically about programs the Technology Agency developed in support Czech-Israeli collaboration.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased that I can talk to you today afternoon. My name is Petr Konvalinka and I'm the chairman of the Technology Agency of the Czech Republic, and I would like to express some details of program supporting bilateral cooperation between Czech Republic and Israel. We have, firstly, who we are for the Israeli side of the participants. We are the main provider of state funding of applied research, and we were established in 2009, and we have a budget in 2021, something like 250,000 euros or 252 million euro. Program Delta was founded in 2014. It's set up for the cooperation in applied research. We had 10 calls from the 2014 for 14 localities in around the world, except the European Union. We had the 260 applications in 96 projects, and we doesn't support defense and medical research. We are supporting the applied research projects. Delta program was prolonged for Delta 2 program, which has the information on the site is the plan for years 2020 to 2025, and we are supporting project in the length of 3 years. We have 2 Israeli partners. First of one is ISERT, Israel Europe Research and Innovation Directorate, and Israel Innovation Authority. With both of them, we have very good contacts, and we are discussing each year the number of projects we would like to support. But some years we have no success to supporting projects. For instance, in Delta 2018, we have 7 submitted projects, but 0 funded, but it was on troubles in the Israeli side because the budget of the state wasn't ready. Now we have open call for Delta II, and we would like to support several projects between Czech side and Israeli side, and we hope that we will have enough asking, and we will be able to support Czech side, and also we hope that Israel Innovation Authority or ISERT will be able to support the Israeli part of the project. Schedule of the launch of the call is on site of Technology Agency 18 May this year, finished on July 13, and on Israeli side it's only 29 June till noon. And I would like to show you these two projects which we are financing. First of one is development of the air purifying and ventilation cooling unit for protection suits. And the other one is air taxi contra rotating propeller system, which is in the field of aerospace engineering. This first one was in the field of applied mechanics. More information about the project financing by Technology Agency is at the Toucher Star Force, which is the web application where it's possible to find projects financing by Toucher. Thank you very much for your attention, and reach out us for more information if you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Konvalinka, and thank you very much for reminding us that actually a call for proposals is open just as we speak. And as I understand, many of the smart cities technologies are about applied research. Some of the areas you mentioned as projects being supported. So I think that there is still room for considering possible utilization of this very program that is so important. Thank you very much once again, Professor. And last but not least, I would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Transportation Sciences, Professor Přibyl, to tell us a little bit more about some specific projects regarding the academic collaboration, I understand.
So thank you very much for this introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my big pleasure to be here and to meet with many of you. Today I am going to talk more about education. So it's something that has not been covered that much. And I will try to show what we are doing with respect to educating in smart cities. I am from the Czech Technical University in Prague, which is quite old, founded in 1707. Me personally, I am the Dean of Faculty of Transportation Sciences. Well, we are not that old. We are going to celebrate 30 years next year. You may ask why Faculty of Transportation Sciences is dealing with smart cities. It has several reasons. We are really trying to understand transportation as a science in holistic terms. We are looking into systems theories, etc. And well, we realize we cannot really do anything with transportation without looking at the impact it has in cities. So that's one of the main reasons. Smart cities at CTU, while I'm going to talk about education, it's really nothing you can take apart, and we are trying to base it on research, base it on international cooperation, which I will show you. Well, I mentioned, or I envy to some of the colleagues here who presented their research. Unfortunately, I cannot do it, but I will just try to skip through some areas that we are working on. So we are trying to integrate, for example, automated vehicles into traffic management in cities. We have been working on automated trains operation. You have already seen some movement from transportation simulations towards city simulation, which is quite interesting aspect because it's really important to know how to measure impact of policies on not only traffic, but really on several KPIs within the cities. We are understanding the importance of good data, and we are spending quite a lot of effort on analyzing data, trying to see price of congestions, etc. Together with colleagues from Technion, Professor Joram Shiftan, we have been also working on travel behavior research. We are trying to understand how people change their mode choice and their behavior with respect to new modes. And one nice example that was already also presented here today by my colleague, Professor Svítek, is a living club, digital twin of not only transport, and we hope that we will get many different stakeholders to come up with an idea, to try it in a virtual environment, and then to see also the impact in real world. So that's something we are trying to do. So now, as I promised, I will move toward the education. So one thing that we do at our faculty that's quite unique is so-called project-oriented education, which means that every single student already during bachelor's studies needs to participate in some project. And of course, we are trying that the projects are done in collaboration with industrial partners or some other organizations so that it has some real impact. And also, we have been organizing student workshops on smart cities together with partners from University of Maryland, University of Texas at El Paso, University of California, Santa Barbara, and we mixed our students with students from abroad, and actually that was one of the best experiences in their lives, as they said. So there was some time to learn, there was some time to work, but there was also some time to have fun, and this mixture was quite interesting. At the Faculty of Transportation Sciences, we are offering a dual master's degree program in smart cities. It's also quite interesting. It's done in cooperation with University of Texas at El Paso, and the students spend 1 year at our faculty, 1 year in the United States. They have 2 thesis supervisors. They have 1 exam, final exam, and 1 defense that's done jointly. And couple of weeks ago, we actually had the first group of 3 students that graduated, and you can see just few pictures from the graduation. It was quite a big event, and we are happy that it was actually quite successful. Apart from that, we are also offering PhD program. That's much easier. We don't really need to look that much into accreditation of new courses. We are basically working together with students from abroad on topics in smart cities. And this picture is actually something why I believe, thank you, why I believe that Faculty of Transportation Sciences is quite good place to deal with smart cities. This is so-called transportation land use cycle, and it really shows you how transportation affects the life in the cities and vice versa. And also here we are offering a dual degree variant with Taiwan Tech University, which is also interesting. When I talk about international cooperation, so you have seen that we have several partners from different countries, different universities that we are dealing with the topics. But one thing I want to mention is also Smart City Symposium Prague. That is actually going to take place tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. It's eighth year, and that's quite interesting opportunity to talk with different partners about these topics, and it helped us a lot to form our ideas. And I'm really excited that tomorrow there is going to be one keynote delivered by Professor Janif. So I think that will be great contribution. So if you were flexible, you can come, or you can come next year when we are celebrating this 30 years anniversary. So it's going to be even bigger. So, thank you very much for your attention. This was really just an overview of what we are doing in educating people. I can imagine that we could prepare such programs with Israeli universities or some research institutions. So if you have any smart ideas and or want to cooperate, please get in touch with me. I would be happy to discuss it with you. Thank you very much.
Professor, thank you very much for your presentation. And if I may quote out of the presentation of Professor Pasek, in the morning we discussed a lot about the pushes and pulls for the collaboration, especially in the area of smart cities and developing new technologies. Now we have learned a little bit about the means, how we can work together. So I encourage all of you to either contact our presenters and their teams, or all the data and all the information will be transferred to you, obviously, or contact me directly so that you can really utilize all the opportunities that are already there. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this panel. You have been terrific. Thank you. Now let us declare 2 minutes technical intermission before we start the next session, which is now about concrete application, industry and services. The session will be chaired by Professor Mařík, and we start in 2 minutes.
Tak a teďka je tady nějaký ozvačko. Jsou nějaký klíčenky. Někde, když to otevře, tak tam mají ty uvidíme, no, než to tady máme.
And actually, let me remind everyone that you can raise and send your questions anytime via these famous Slido technologies, and you can carry on with meeting each other, networking in the linked event we prepared for you. Thank you. Can the presenter join us at the podium, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure and honor to open this technical session aimed at smart solutions in everyday life. There are 6 Czech companies which will present what they do in the field of smart cities. And now I am giving the floor to Mr. David Martínek from Czech-Israeli Smart Solutions, which will present situation from the position of a major operator perspective.
Good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen. Let myself introduce. My name is David Martínek. I work as a public affairs manager in Czech-Israeli, which is energy services company, daughter 100% owned by ČEZ, who is, let's say, energy company, distribution and power, partially owned by Czech state. And I'd like to tell you something about what's happening in energy sector nowadays. All of us know that a lot of things have changed in the last 2 or 3 years. We experienced a pandemic, which was, let's say, the first hit into economy, and the second one is, of course, the war, which is now in Ukraine. And there is, let's say, great uncertainty in the market regarding the prices of commodities. All of us know it's very tough now with buying the gas and electricity. And for example, gas has increased more than 10 times in last year. Of course, European Union will now push for energy resilience and security and independence on Russian gas, diversification of sources, decentralization, including the transition as fast as possible to LNG, biomethane and hydrogen, which will be required for heavy machinery here in Czech Republic, together with implementation of renewables. The EU proposes increasing of energy efficiency. We are talking mainly about the buildings, and much higher share of renewables, which will really accelerate the decarbonization. Few of us have read after the war started that Green Deal is dead, but after 2 or 3 days it was clear that probably it will be faster than we expected, because the decarbonization is the way how to be resilient and how to be safe from energy point of view. This is why European Union introduced last week updated goals in Repower EU package, and the numbers in share of renewables and energy savings are even higher than before. It's not just about the regulation and about the security, but of course there is a real demand from our customers. There are banks and investors pushing, aligned with taxonomy and all the other rules to be as green as possible. And of course, more our, let's say, Western-owned customers are pushing on green energy. They are consuming and buying from us, and they are producing the energy on sites as a part of decentralized energy. As you can see on this slide in few newspaper news, the pressure to reduce emissions is growing. It's very fast. And when I switch to the Czech market, I think that the largest challenges for us are the construction of renewable sources, where we would love to have a little bit faster processes, and I hope that it's coming soon. Of course, together with accumulation, electromobility, then electricity production in renewables or emission-free sources. I mean, as a part of renewables, and then emission-free, I mean nuclear power plants. Big challenge for Czech Republic will be the decarbonization of heating industry, because it's very wide here in Czech Republic, and we have to deal with it. And what is very interesting is the massive energy savings in buildings to be aligned with EED directive. If we are talking about the decarbonization from the terms of energy, there are few kinds of how to do it with immediate impact, with let's say impact in months, and then in years. These are very complex projects, and we are negotiating with let's say the largest customers these large projects. As two examples how to perform this, there are, we call it EPC projects. The shortcut comes from energy performance contracting, and we guarantee our customers the savings. You can save your capexes because the investments are paid from the savings, and you can combine this method with subsidies. And you can save up to 30% of total costs. Nowadays it's coming even more because the prices of electricity are really high. The second example are photovoltaics, as we call it, for 1 Czech crown. We call it because we pay the investment. We just rent the roof of our customer. Then we perform the project, and we are delivering the customers just the green energy. And after 15 years of paying for energy, which is of course contracted, and customer knows what or how many he will pay, he can buy it from us as an asset for 1 crown. What I want to say that the smart projects are not just about the technologies, it's about smart financing and all this together. The market is pushing us to find new methods how to implement all of these projects, because they want to focus on their core business, and they want to perform all these projects by customers. Just few examples. Czech Technical University, the largest EPC contract performed here in Czech Republic in last 2 years. In total investment of more than 230 millions with guaranteed savings of almost 22 million per year. And of course, 4,400 tons of CO2 saved. Then example of historical building, Rudolfinum, which is the concert hall, complex energy savings performed as well. 9 years duration project with annual savings about 3 million Czech crowns. The hospitals are our large customers as well, because these are they are big energy consumers. So a project like in Karlovy Vary Regional Hospital with a decrease of costs by 32%. Then National Theatre, as well, historical building. As far as I know, this palace was also considered for EPC project. So I hope that current situation in energy will make it live again, and we will be able to compete for this project. let's say, more modern buildings as the Prague Congress Centre near to Nusle Bridge as well. We are now performing some extra work on this project with installation of photovoltaics on the roof, and then two examples of photovoltaics. As you probably know, Škoda Auto is, as the other members of automotive family, aiming on decarbonization and carbon-free production, so rooftop panels. And the last one is Bila. All these logistics areas are perfect for installation of photovoltaics. Here, capacity more than 1 megawatt. Thanks for being with you here today, and I wish you a nice rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martinek. There is no question in Slido, so we will continue. Next speaker represents operator ICT Smart Prague Vision 2030, Tomáš Barsi, CEO of this company. Please, Mr. Barsi, the floor is yours.
One, two, three, four. Thank you. So once again, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm about to present you basically what we do and what are the main objectives which we fulfill within the city. Our job is to manage the smart city project within the city, because the operator ICT is a company owned by the city. We take care about ICT services, smart city projects, and digitalization projects of the city office. And therefore, we bring on the table the new projects, then we run pilots, and sometimes we even run the smart city, let's say, products. In the other options are like we do just the pilots, and other sister city companies run the smart city products. Sometimes we just manage the development phase, the pilot, and some commercial companies who work for the city run the products. In the heart of the smart city operation is our data platform, which is called Golemio. The name signifies a very strong person from Czech history. That person wasn't a man, but it was artificial, and it was brought to life by a Hebrew Rabbi Lev, by a Shem. And the I and O at the end is the very well-known IT input and output. Because what we do with the data platform, we basically collect the city data from whichever parts we can. You'll see later in the presentation. And we process them and put them in the right form, and then we distribute them either back to the data owners or provide them to management of the city. Furthermore, we digitalize the access of the Prague citizens to the services they need. I need to pay for my dog, I need to pay for the collection of my waste, I need to apply for driver's license, whatever. So this is what the Prague portal serves for. Furthermore, we develop and run mobile applications like My Prague, which helps you to find several different things in Prague you need when you live, work, or visit the city. Last but not least, we operate the regional transport system. It's not just the Prague system, but even the Central Bohemia system. Recently, we are expanding even to a part of to North Bohemia. The vision of the Smart Prague 2030 has two basic documents. One is the strategy, and the other one is action plan. The action plan is evaluated and renewed or updated every year. The 6 main topics of the strategy are mobility of the future, where you can find a mix of different means of transportation, topics like clean mobility, etc., etc. The second topic is smart buildings and energy. City owns many buildings and real estate assets. We just apply the meters, collect the data, and based on that we can decide how to manage the energy in the city buildings in a better way. One of the strategies of the Prague is to be an attractive city for the tourists. So the same way we approach transportation through providing the transportation card or mobile app allowing you to buy one-off city transport ticket. In the same way, we run the Prague City Tourism Card, which is combined with a city transport card, of course, and allows you to access the sightseeing for some better prices or provide some virtual experience. The fourth topic is waste-free city. Behind that is nothing more complicated than IoT or in general mobile communication and the sensors in the waste bins. We collect the data, and then the company who collects the waste can plan their runs according to that, providing the outcome like waste-free city or informing its citizens if their nearest waste bin is full, empty, or what's the state. Fifth topic is people and the urban environment. That's the topic that we approach through the, again, collecting data, putting them in dashboards, which can help decide citizens how to, which means of the transportation to use within the city, or where is the nearest office they need to find, etc. The sixth topic is basically a virtual topic because it's, again, the data that's behind all the smart city concept. The above-mentioned data platform Golemio is a data platform that's based mostly on open source applications, project, and cloud platforms. And the skill is mainly behind the team who was able to put this everything together and run it. And we currently produce approximately 100 dashboards which tells somebody something. Later on you'll see the shell hoarders and it will make sense who consumes and provides the data. With the data provided, as I mentioned, either the citizens or the management of the city can decide how to act on it. So the role of the data has already increased, but furthermore, this will be more important in the future. That's why our strategy aims approximately 10 years ahead. The strategic innovations we have produced within our company, not in the whole city ecosystem of the smart city projects which we manage, but in our company is the multi-channel check-in system for the public transportation, which I've already mentioned. The intermodal route planner is something which is from one perspective very similar or strictly connected to this public transportation system. This is basically a system which communicates with you through the application, and you can, your goal is to get somewhere from a point A to a point B, and this planner can plan you a trip with a public transportation, shared car, shared bike, and get you to the point B, and charge you just on one place and manage the charges for the services which are included in your trip. Furthermore, we created a concept of the charging point operator for the electric vehicles in the city. The goal of the city is to standardize the power feeding network for the cars, to maintain the price on the same level, and to basically standardize it so that the customer get one standard service. There are people who are very interested in the way how the city is operated, if it's managed effectively. Therefore, we manage this website called Pragozor, which opens the city and its numbers to the citizens, or basically to the public, and says how is done and how is managed. There are 8 categories which are mainly tracked and presented. These are the stakeholders who either provide us with data, manage the city, or consume the data. And it's our owner, the Prague municipality, our sister companies who help manage the municipality to manage the city and provide the services. It's the public, mentioned private companies. We also work with academic institutions to develop new things and come up with state-of-the-art ideas. And we are living in the time when everything is changing. So we're using our main advantage in software development, the agile approach, and we basically replicate it to all the other services we need. What I'm trying to say is that we have a 2030 strategy, which has some certain goals, but sometimes on the way you have to turn on the crossroads which don't lead directly to the goal, and you have to adapt to what's going on. So we've developed an internal skill for a very quick response, how to react to COVID, work migration crisis, etc. Everything is basically about the data. I believe that you heard it through my whole presentation. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
Before you leave, there is one question from the audience. How do you explain and promote the technologies to people in Prague? Do you research the public satisfaction?
We market some of our most known services to the public, and regarding the collection of the feedback, we are more focused on what's needed. One of our mobile applications is named, it's in Czech, but I'll say it in English, Change It. You see something is wrong, you take a picture of it or write it, and we manage it like a typical IT service desk service. We take this request and route it to the appropriate point or place in the city, so it's managed. And that's the same way how it goes with our services.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And this was the only question. Next speaker is Mr. Eric Feldman, CEO of VDT Technology.
Hello, dear ladies and dear gentlemen. Let me present to you how our company can work with the data in the smart city complex, in smart city projects. So let me a little bit introduce our company. Our company is a system and technical integrator which transfer the technology from the Israeli companies and startups to Czech market. It's on the base of the memorandum of cooperation which was signed in Jerusalem in 2018 between these partners, between Czech Technical University, between Israeli Engineering College, Accelerator A2B, our company, and Czech R&D company Prague Advanced Research Technology Innovation Center. So now, for our Israeli friends, maybe I want to present our cooperating partners in Israel. It will be maybe very new for you. First is a small startup, Mobileye. It's a joke because now it's part of the Intel company. Next is video analytics company Briefcam, also small startup, which is now in the group of the Canon. This only show how is the way with the startups. Yeah, very, okay. Next. So, and only to this strong partner, we can in Czech Republic compare the company Certicon, which is our partner for artificial intelligence and video analytics in the field of taking the data for the smart city solution. So, first, let me present a little bit about the Mobileye, who from the Czech side don't know what they do. Mobileye is a leading company in the autonomous vehicle solution and also of the taking the data from the let's say car. This is portfolio of the data which we are working on. It's data first of all about the live traffic and about let's say traffic intelligence, because this is very interesting and important topic. That as a next is a survey, road network survey data, and then the data about the utility assets. It's very, very interesting. I will show you it on the next very short video, because sometimes the videos say much more than the words. So.
At the turn of the millennium, Mobileye reimagined auto safety by designing the first ever camera-only collision avoidance system. Now, Mobileye is reinventing road asset data collection. Leveraging millions of journeys from vehicles on the road, we're able to aggregate data from drivers everywhere. When these vehicles travel along their regular route, equipped with Mobileye's AI-powered computer vision technology, they survey the road for infrastructure assets, pavement conditions, and dynamic mobility. The data collected is automatically turned into relevant GIS layers. Compatible with your existing GIS platform, superimposed layers can give valuable insights for preventative maintenance, efficient asset management, and evidence-based urban planning. Having precise information about your assets, road networks, and mobility is critical to the successful management and operation of cities. Mobileye technology turns roadscape data into relevant, up-to-date GIS layers, so that local governments, transportation authorities, utility companies, and businesses can serve the public more efficiently. Mobileye Data Services.
Myslím, že video bylo velmi, I'm sorry, sorry for Czech. I think that the video was very impressive and said everything about the potential which with the data which can Mobileye offer. What we are doing with this data. We merge this data, then we are making the correlation between these different types of the data. Then we are doing very, very smart analysis of this data. And then we, of course, can do some reports for companies like this ICT operator or the municipalities company. So it's about the Mobileye, and then back to the Czech partner Certicon. I will speak about the mentioned project from the Professor Svítek. It's a smart street or avenue Evropská. We have there a pilot project where we are testing the unique solution of video analytics from the company Certicon. You can see the records from the yesterday. From these 4 points, we are taking the very sharp and right data about the cars and traffic. We can categorize we can make the categorization and counting the cars in different lanes, and we can merge it together. And on this, we can do in Siemens MindSphere platform. This is our collecting platform where we collect all the data. We can do the very, very smart, how I said, correlation between this data. We can present the data in the specific dashboards, under specific needs of the customers. And what is interesting that on the historical data which we have in this database, we can, or the system can, through the artificial intelligence, do the predictive analysis of the traffic. For example, this is what we currently do. And what we are currently working is connecting this data to the traffic control center to make the traffic more more effective, more flowing, and let's say for the people which are driving this car, is this functionality very, very interesting, because the traffic lights then can be not managed from the control room, only from the plan, which is hard. It can be adaptive and let's say dynamic from the current traffic. This is our aim and goal in this project and our part of the project. It was all, and thank you for attention. And if you have questions, I'm ready for answer.
Okay, there is a question for you. Working together, Czech and Israeli companies utilizing data, are there problems regarding data protection? They mean GDPR in the Czech Republic? Did you meet this problem?
I don't think so, because our solution taking over only the metadata. The signal which you saw, it was only to presentation to be more in picture, because we are overtaking from the system only the metadata about the time. It's a time series data. It's a time, GPS position of the concrete situation, of the concrete point, and then we count the numbers together, and on the dashboard we present just the anonymous data. It's not nothing what is against the GDPR. The stream is not visible for normal user.
Thank you very much for your answer. Thank you for your presentation. And the next speaker is Mr. Josef Tesařík from the Tesco software company. Please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, especially our friends from Israel. My name is Josef Tesarik. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you here today about our special application for public lighting management. I come here on behalf of the company Tesco Software. First, let me say a few words about our company. Our headquarters are located in modern Bea campus in Olomouc town. I don't know if anybody knows where Olomouc is located. It's in eastern part of this country, and we are very active on Czech-Israeli cooperation side. We have done a similar conference like this one in Olomouc with the topic of healthcare, and it was very successful last year. So more to Tesco. We have been a company on the Czech market for over 30 years, and we are one of the leading companies in the Czech Republic. We concentrate on many areas for public administration, critical systems of the Czech national government. But in addition to that, we proceed with many interesting projects in high-tech areas. One of the areas is healthcare industry, which I will not speak about today, and one of the areas is also energy management and public lighting systems, which I will speak a little bit about today. We cooperate with leading academic institutions and other technology partners on our projects. As I already mentioned, today I will concentrate on the energy management field, and I'll try to introduce our smart city solution for public lighting. This is an addition to a larger cloud management tool called EMA, which is available online 24/7 to customers in Czech Republic and in abroad as well. The application can be accessed via various tools and devices, personal computer, tablet, and mobile phones. The various additions of this cloud management tool cover energy management, facility management, lease relations, and maintenance management. In the Czech Republic, the system is registered with the Center Catalog of Cloud Computing provided by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and its efficiency and security is guaranteed by this fact. We serve many industries, including public administration, real estate, healthcare, services, and other industries. Since we do not have time today to go to great detail about the solution, let me just say a few words, and if you are interested afterwards, we can talk about how we can cooperate and communicate further. Basically, the application is used in a public lighting system, which is consisting basically of these three parts: network infrastructure, management and control system, and smart lighting. In every city we have lighting systems, but very often these lighting systems are not smart. The lights are switched on at dusk and switched off at dawn. This is no longer a good strategy, and sophisticated management system is being developed in our company, and together with our technology partners, we are putting them into practice in our cities in Czech Republic. Basically, every city has many lamps, and these lamps, together with the network which the cities usually have, they can be used for more just lighting. They can be used for several purposes, and we can work with the data and manage all these components of the system. Basically, the lamp can be at the same time a lighting tools. It can be a pedestrian safety control, it can be the road traffic control, and it can serve environmental protection and sustainability goals. Basically, the lighting system is like a big octopus in a city, which has both connectivity and electricity, and can be used within the city for smart administration and other smart purposes. The environmental protection is also very important because aside from big savings which you can achieve with adaptive control systems, you can also protect the lives of animals which live in the city and have to cope with the lighting and light pollution during the night. So careful attention to when, where, and how much nighttime lighting is needed, we can protect both our sleep and our environment. Now, I spoke already a little bit about the benefits, so I won't go into the great detail about that. I will just show you a few slides from the application, which is cloud-based. The first slide contains a dashboard through which the lights and the dashboard and switchboards are controlled, and you can manage not only one system within the city, but basically several different systems, and you can manage them online. Each switchboard has also an application environment where you can manage and control the activity of the switchboard, twilight hours, and many other various features in order to maintain a good, efficient system and to save energy costs and protect environment. The same way as you can control switchboard, you can control also the lighting units. Each lighting unit can have different separate times when they are switched on and switched off. There can be different curves for lighting, and the light can adapt and react to light which is available throughout the year. Also, when security concerns are taken into consideration, lighting can react to, let's say, movement of people within the area, and if nobody is within the area, the light can be switched off. EMA helps achieve some of these goals. There are some further information. I won't go into detail more. If you are interested, you can contact me, or you can get this information from the presentation I present today. So thank you for your attention, and
Thank you very much, Mr. Tesařík. There is no question in Slido, so thank you once more. Next speaker is Mr. Jan Hovora, CEO of Pocket Virtuality. Please, come here.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jan Hovora, CEO of Pocket Virtuality. It's a relatively small startup, about 20 people, which is focusing on augmented and virtual reality and on high-tech solution in computer vision, artificial intelligence, and computer graphics. So I will try to show you what we are doing and how it could be useful in the smart cities. Because sometimes it's difficult to explain what we are doing too, so I will also try to show you some video. This video is a little bit wild. It's made for public and for technology enthusiasts, so I apologize, maybe too much for you, but you will see. So we are working on virtual teleportation. What's virtual teleportation? It's a little bit different than maybe you know remote assistance. We are not trying to just send video from the AR glasses, but we are trying to create whole digital copy of everything around you, whole environment, make 3D twin of the world around you. This did have some strong benefits like spatial understanding, measuring. It allowed to work with really bad connectivity or with latency, because when you have model, you can interact with the model without connectivity in same time. So the people could cooperate in different time zones. And also it solved problem with image stabilization, because when you are looking for the video that is going directly from the glasses long time, you could have problem with the image stabilization. But when you look at the model, the model is stable. So, yeah. We did some tests at this winter, so you will see it in very realistic conditions. It was made when snowing. There was also smoke. It was in a real distracted environment, and it was totally off the grid. So both sides was running in batteries, and we used Starlink on both sides, so it was totally off grid, totally out of mobile connection, and it still works. So just give me a second to run it. So, and you will see on one side there are people in the Microsoft HoloLens. On other side will be people in VR, and will be fully connected in real time. Everything is outdoor of the internet. The basic idea is to make possibility to put people on different places at the world on the same physical place virtually to cooperate. Yeah, it was connected directly to Starlink dishes. And you can see it's in very bad light condition, it still will work. So we are now sending in a real-time video from the glasses, and in a real time we are reconstructing whole environment. So the people in command center and the firefighters on the place could start cooperate like they will be together at the place. And the people at the site will see avatar of the people in virtual reality in their AR glasses, and the people in virtual reality will see whole environment, including workers on the site together. We are also able to connect external cameras, so we are not sending just the front cam data, but we can connect any additional cameras and send all these streams together. Yeah. So you can also see the environment is quite complex. There is many layers in underground, and still it's working. Also, the guys in the glasses, when they will look at the environment around, they will see underground structures because other people was there and map it in the space. So back to my presentation. Yeah. So what we are doing? We are doing kind of platform. Here at the video you saw just guys in the glasses on the place, and some guys at the VR, but because it's platform, we are also thinking about connecting of drones. So on the side, there could be drones together with other people and allow cooperation between drones and people. On other sides, where our VR could be operators, experts, and help of AI, and all these things could be connected together in real time. And yeah, there is a lot of computing behind it, but basically this is how the system works. So how it works, in fact. We use AR glasses not just for augmented reality, but we use it as a sensors. We are collecting data, all the data from these glasses, like structural data, video data, and sending it to our machines, something that we call FM Brain, collecting this data and creating in real time 3D digital twin of the environment. Remote users, when they take the VR glasses or look at the computer, can go into this environment and we transform their position into the physical world. So the people in AR can see these guys like avatars correctly in this physical world through these AR glasses. And the position of the people in the real world, we are again transform into correct position in the virtual world and again send them this position to the people in VR. So in fact, we are virtually teleporting them and putting them together so they can cooperate. That's how the system works. Yeah. How the kit look like? It's just suitcase when there are Microsoft HoloLens with some additional hardware like its cameras, special keyboard on your hand. And the nice thing is that it's fully portable. You don't need any services on the internet. We completely on-premise. And you don't need any coding. In fact, anybody can run this system in minutes and start to use it. So now we have this, we call it Fata Morgana teleportation kit, and now we are working on some little bit bigger solution that will allow much more users together and run in on-premise clouds. So I hope I was short enough, but that's basically how it works.
Thank you very much for keeping the time schedule. And now there is no question for you. So thank you once more for your interesting presentation. The last speaker in this session, number 5, is Mr. Petr Prashek, Head of Applied Research Department at Certicon company.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Petr Prashek. I'm from Czech technological company Certicon, which is quite bigger than was 26 years ago. Now we have more than 400 employees. Certicon operates on many fields from automotive testing, biomedical systems, and smart scheduling. One part of our company developed and still developing video analytics system called Certicon Viz, which was mentioned in one of previous presentations by Mr. Feldman. Thank you. And but my aim today is to speak about different video processing system, which is oriented for multiple object tracking in both outdoor and indoor environment. The system is working with anonymized data, and it aims for applications for retail analytics, facility management, let's say urbanism or urbanistic studies and so on. We cooperated with our friends from Czech Technical University and Czech Institute of Informatics, Robotics and Cybernetics in Prague. To keep it short, I have prepared one example of typical use case. I decided that I show you example of retail analytics, but the system can be used, for example, for urbanistic as well. The system aims to analyze the occupation of public space, estimation of direction and speed of persons. And in this slide, you can see a typical example of picture from industry camera. And as a motivation, why we need more cameras. We definitely we definitely can do retail analytics from only one cameras, but typically one camera, almost every time there are occlusions which cause that many information is lost. Big part of information is lost. So it's quite wise to employ more cameras, which give us better coverage of the area we are monitoring. When we have more cameras, we have more information about objects, and why not to merge all these information from individual cameras into one more robust information. For this purpose, our team developed a software solution which we called Statistical Grid Tracker. It deals with some amount of, how to say, statistical and probability black magic. I don't want to talk about technical details because we have no time. But after processing information from individual cameras, we have very robust estimation of positions of all objects in scene. What is important is that we, in next step, we are able to project these positions into floor plan, and we can measure, for example, distance and positions in meters. Because we are talking about retail analytics, let's look at some tools for visualization of data. One basic tool is dynamic heat map, which shows occupancy of the area in a sliding time window. The size of this time period can be adjusted by customer or operator of the system. And from this tool, we can quickly overview some basic information about how our area is used. For example, what the footfall is, where are the hotspots when the customers in our store units spend the most time, and vice versa, we can identify where are blind spots. To focus on more detail, we can employ other tools like region of interest, which can be put on the floor plan in almost unlimited numbers. And they divide the store floor plan into regions. And this division can be done according to assortment of goods, or we can follow the human traffic in other areas like corridors. We can count the visits in cash zone, and so on. So what can be get from this tool is statistics of visits per each region, their combination. We can estimate conversion rate of customers, and all these actions can be done retrospectively because all raw data, pre-computed raw data of the tracker are stored in a special database. System itself doesn't store video data, and there are no identification of persons. What can be done with data we get from system? There are some follow-up work with these data, which can be done on customer side. System has some software connectors or interfaces for business intelligence software, like Microsoft Power BI, for example. Customer has possibility to prepare his own dashboards, and as I mentioned, all this data mining can be done retrospectively. From this dashboard, facility manager or retail specialist can get information about attendance of individual assortment, the number of people who find at the end of the shopping went to cash zone, and so on. So I have no more time. I hope it was interesting for you, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation. There are no questions in Slido. So I'm closing this session number 5. We have 8 minutes delay. So please, there is a coffee ready for you, and we will start, let's say, in 13, 14 minutes, 37. Thank you very much for your participation.